New Rally Factor's on tonight.
The answer today from both the president and vice president appeared to be clear and unambiguous.
While most analysts believe the Obama administration is confused over how to deal with the ISIS threat, NBC News dissents. Bernie Goldberg has some thoughts.
The president was not singling out ISIL.
President Obama's spokesman saying the JV comment was not directed at ISIS. But is that true? Our True Serum segment will clarify.
I ran out of ammo, knelt down, changed magazines, and right as I'm coming up and I start to re-engage, another mortar hits.
Also ahead for the first time, CIA operatives involved in the Benghazi terror attack speak out to Bret Baier. He will be here tonight.
In addition, the State Department calling me sexist. Caution, you are about to enter the no-spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Chaos overseas. What is President Obama really thinking? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Most of us know people who are big fans of President Obama, or at least were big fans. These days, many Obama supporters have either changed their minds or gone to ground. According to the polls, 70% of the American people believe the country's on the wrong track. And of course, the president takes much of the blame for that. Obviously, the terror threat, page one this week, with the beheading of a second American citizen by the ISIS Nazis. President Obama in Wales tonight trying to rally NATO to fight terrorism and restrain the Russian tyrant Putin. But obviously, things are pretty much out of control at this point. So the question then becomes, why has the president allowed terrorism and Putin to cause so much trouble? Why? The answer is partly speculative, but based on facts. It's clear the president is not strong in certain areas, like macroeconomics, for example. American workers still earning less money than they did before he took office. Mr. Obama has had 6 years to fix that. He has not fixed it. On foreign affairs, the president also has problems. He's basically reactive. He allows bad agents to grow in strength until critical mass is reached. To this day, the president's still not taking the fight to ISIS or to Putin. He has been restrained, to say the least. The American media, which has a lot of emotion invested in President Obama, is now largely silent in defense of him. Last night, Factor producers watched the primetime shows on CNN and MSNBC. We could not find any of the hosts making excuses for President Obama's performance, as they usually do. NBC News is one of the few to give the president some credit.
It is among the scariest threats our nation has faced since 9/11, and after the beheading of a second American now by ISIS, for all those who may be wondering if the U.S. is going to rise up, take the bait, and get into the fight to root them out, the answer today from both the president and vice president appeared to be clear and unambiguous.
Well, most Americans disagree with Mr. Williams, saying that President Obama's response to ISIS has been timid and confusing. Bernie Goldberg will take a look a bit later on. Now, Talking Points believes President Obama's main political priority is social justice. That's where his energies lie. That's what Obamacare is all about. The president engages in class warfare, but not real warfare. Secondly, he's big on climate change. He cares about that, no question. An interesting report recently says the Arctic ice cap is actually growing now. It's getting thicker. Be that as it may, global warming is an Obama priority. The other stuff seems to be an annoyance to the president, and that's why the world's in a mess. Mr. Obama even says that. The world's messy. But it's your job, Mr. President, to make it less messy and to protect American citizens. And right now, the perception is the president's not doing a very good job on the messy front. All presidents have priorities and interests and passions. The current president should expand his. And that's the memo. Now, for the top story tonight, reaction. With us here in the New York studio, Andrea Tanteros, co-host of The Five. And from Nashville, Tennessee, where he's giving another paid speech, James Carville, Fox News analyst. America's the greatest country in the world. They get people pay you to speak, Carville. It's unbelievable. I mean, how great is this nation?
It's a Tennessee Democrat, so it's not paid. It's,
I heard that under President Obama, your speaking fees have gone down. I don't want you to comment, but all right, Carville. 70% of American people think the country's on the wrong track. You're an ardent Obama supporter, but even you must believe that there's something wrong someplace here, no?
Well, I mean, there's something wrong someplace. Of course there's something wrong someplace. It's like asking a football player, where does it hurt? But, you know, if you look, the economy is improving. I'm sorry. You know, look at the 17.5 million auto sales last year. The job market has improved substantially. The deficit has gone down at a record rate. Okay, but that's just the facts.
No, the facts are wages are not improving, and every week you come on and say the same thing, and that's not going to improve wages, and that is the indicator that people care.
I can pick out 10 good things, and you can pick out one bad thing, okay?
70% of the American people, I'll repeat, say the country's on the wrong track, Carville. Do you know why they say
look,
that?
Again, there's sometimes there's some right time. I'm just giving you what the facts are. The polls are the polls.
Do you have any opinion on why 70% of us feel we're on the wrong track? Any opinion at all?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I do think that this recovery has had a hard time. It was brutal. It's had a hard time getting down to people. And I think people look at the world and see it messy. I think they look at Washington and see it dysfunctional. I think most of it is coming out of the fact that they think nothing gets done in Washington. But the facts are that he's got some pretty substantial accomplishments.
I don't think that the American people see it that way. And let's go over to Andrea Tantaros. Look, it's a perception issue. All polls are perception, and you know the facts will be slowly rolled out over the years about Obamacare, about national defense, and about the border and immigration, all of those things. But right now, what is the president's biggest problem, in your opinion?
The biggest problem, I think, is ISIS, because it's all over the headlines. And we're coming up on the anniversary of 9/11, and there is a belief, I believe in the electorate right now, that we have a president that does not fundamentally want to act in such a big threat to protect the United States of America. And you asked, what is the president thinking? He has, and Brian Williams is right, I think the president's been very clear, Bill. I mean, he's given mixed messages, but he has a worldview that is very anti-American, and all you have to do is go back to the Cairo speech.
That's not what Brian Williams is saying.
But I think he's been clear. If you read his books, which many in the media didn't do and most people haven't, read the Cairo speech, read the books, everything you need to know about how he feels about the West and how downright oppressive we've been tells you everything you need to know.
Do you buy into the hard right belief that President Obama wants to harm America?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay, so you're not saying that.
No.
So he's timid on confronting ISIS. He should be bombing in Syria right now. I think most people agree with that. He isn't. Why is he timid? Why?
Because he believes that the West, specifically, has been downright oppressive in its foreign policy over the years. So this is deeper than isolation.
He can't believe that ISIS is doing things justifiably. He knows they're evil. Why doesn't he attack the evil?
Bill, he has basically apologized for the West to the Muslim community in Cairo. He believes we've been an oppressor, and this is why he's fundamentally not able to protect the U.S., because he has disdain for the West and the history and the traditions, and it's out of step with most Americans watching this show.
What I'm hearing you saying is that he's going to let ISIS and other terrorists run wild because he doesn't like the West?
It's like a weed problem on the lawn. He's just going to manage it, like he said. That was an answer from his heart. I do believe there is something. I feel he's allowing them to get this caliphate. He knows the history of Islam.
Oh, man, but if that were true, that would be so dangerous.
Why? It's happened. He hasn't brought the killers in Benghazi to justice. When it comes to terrorism, he doesn't act because he believes.
So what do you have to say to that, Carville? What do you have to say to Andrew saying he's soft? He's soft on terrorism.
Look, if you want to say he's soft, that's one thing. If you say that he wants to bring the West, I'm not going to respond to that. That's too idiotic for a response.
All right.
Look,
why isn't he bombing
people than anybody
Why
else?
isn't he bombing ISIS in Syria?
He iced bin Laden. I mean, it just doesn't comport with any facts. I don't think he articulates. I think he somehow or another he doesn't articulate his policy very well. He thinks it's
but he doesn't. He's not attacking ISIS where they are. Their bases are in Syria. Why doesn't he do it?
Hold on just a second. He changed the government in Baghdad. They've armed the Kurds. They've pushed them back. What they want to do is, you know, there's a saying down in Louisiana, A, clear holster, B, pull trigger. And they're putting a coalition together. We're not the only people threatened by this. If you take ISIS down, you're helping the Iranians, by the way, of which we fought a war to help the Iranians.
Would you object to...
We took the Taliban out, we helped them. You're helping the Saudis.
This is going to happen.
Something smart and do something
he's going to bomb ISIS in Syria. It's just a matter of when, not if. Would you object to that, Carville? Right. Would you object to him bombing?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
So why didn't he do it last week when he should have done it?
Out there pounding rocks.
Why didn't he do it last week when he should have done it?
Smart, and I want other people on it.
You know, He looks weak, Carville. You must know that. He looks weak in the eyes of the world. He does. He looks weak.
You know, I'd rather, if he has to look weak for 10 days and then look smart after that, I'd be for that.
All right, we'll see.
But what I'm not for doing is just going out there pounding rocks without a strategy, like as we've done so many times
He's not
before.
proud to lead the West.
You know,
That's the bottom line.
The strategy is pretty easy. Kill as many ISIS as you can. All right, very good. Thank you. Next on the rundown, Ed Henry in Wells with the president. We'll speak to Ed. Later, new poll on immigration shows Americans want a secure border. Miss Laura on that. Also, Ed, the State Department calls me sexist. Oh. Factors coming right back.